Hey there, crypto traders and investors. It's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also home to the best crypto community. Today is Tuesday, December 10th. Hope you're well. Going to do a follow-up video to the bloodbath that we saw yesterday. The market sold off drastically in crypto after the 60 Minutes episode. Lots of speculation that, it had to do with that. Personally, I think it was just overheated. I think we were due for a technical pullback. We have weekly bull flags on deck, and we also back tested the 2021 highs on XRP perfectly. And we also have a weekly bull flag on total 3. So I think this is the final shakeout before we see new all-time highs on XRP. And I do think that there's a good chance that the temporary bottom is in. So we'll discuss the XRP price chart. We'll take a look at the price action in the days, weeks, months ahead. I'll give my thoughts and opinions, but as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. And full disclosure, XRP is my largest holding in my crypto portfolio. You can also follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. And speaking of X, I posted this, reposted Mr. Intuitive's post. And Mr. Intuitive said, "The face of a man who owns zero crypto." And I said, "The face of a liar and a coward." Just look at his face, his eyes. He's full of crap, obviously. He mentioned that, in the 60-minute clip, basically he was the anti-crypto person, right, that was trying to balance the scales. But he left out a key point that the Ripple versus SEC decision and lawsuit said that in and of itself, XRP was not a security. And he said, "Oh, I've talked to judge after judge after judge, and they all say it's not one, two, or two judges. It's all the judges say they're securities." Except he left out one crucial point: was Judge Annalisa Torres actually ruled that in and of itself, XRP is not a security. So this guy's an absolute clown. I don't even think he likes himself. Just look at his face. Like it says it all. That's the face of a liar and a coward. And look at Brad's face. This is the face of a boss. This is a fearless leader. Shout out to the God Candle as well. I could not agree more. This is the man you want at the helm running the best crypto company in the world. And that is that is Ripple in crypto, and not to be confused with XRP, the digital asset. So XRP is a digital currency, and it's decentralized, whereas Ripple is a company where you can buy private equity in the company and you have governing rights, etc., right? And eventually they're looking to IPO in 2025. So this is the face of crypto as far as I'm concerned right now. Mr. Brad Garlinghouse, shout out to you, my friend. You are an absolute boss. Man, that guy's just incredible. So taking a look at the liquidation event, so there was over $1 billion in liquidations. And again, we knew that this was going to happen, right? You can't go in a straight line up forever. You don't go in a straight line down forever. If we take a look at Bitcoin was down about 11% from the all-time high. If we take a look at Ethereum from its recent highs, down about a little over 14%. Litecoin down over 28%. We had XRP down over 32%, XLM down over 45%, and HBAR down over 40%. So the common theme here is the names that ran harder fell harder, right? That's what goes up must come down. But again, I think that it's a good sign that we are forming this pullback here now. And it's healthy in my opinion. And we're just forming weekly higher lows, which will bring up the chart in just a moment. But this news came out right on cue, very timely. Just after the market crashed, we had this news piece hit. Russian State Duma deputy proposes strategic Bitcoin reserve in wake of the U.S. doing a similar move, right? And we know that China has been kind of lowering its fiscal monetary policy, the lowest that we've seen, kind of loosening that, the lowest we've seen since 2010. So the writing is on the wall. All macro factors are pointing to, risk on appetite in the market, and there's talks of Florida adding it as well, Bitcoin as a strategic reserve. So we're just going to continue to see this happen. But again, the fact that we had this massive sell-off and then this Russian news come out about a strategic Bitcoin reserve, it just really makes you wonder, right? And they always need a reason to crash the market, and a lot of people were blaming this on 60 Minutes, and it was a crypto hit piece. I don't think it was a hit piece on Ripple or XRP per se, more so on the crypto industry, right? He said that in this liar and a coward said that, it's only used for nefarious purposes, right? There's no actual utility, which is absolutely incorrect. Again, in the Ripple versus SEC case, the judge said, Ripple and the use of XRP, it does have utility. So he's just talking out of his rear side. He has no idea what he's talking about. He's just lying, right? He knows what he's doing. It's sad that this person used to work at the SEC and doesn't know the difference between a commodity and a crypto. Like he mentioned, where's the balance sheet of crypto? Well, where's the balance sheet of oil, you numbskull? Like, this guy doesn't have a clue. He's definitely not that dumb, right? He's just playing the part. He's a facade. He's a a Gary Gensler, brown noser, and Elizabeth Warren troop. So it's just nonsense, right? It's just political theater, or bureaucratic theater, whatever you want to call it. But taking a look at XRP here on the weekly time frame. So actually, before we do that, I want to bring up the hourly chart here, because I'll get rid of some of these lines to clear things up. But it's an hourly equilibrium at the moment. So we had the low of the dump there at $1.96. And the interesting part about that is $1.96 was the highs of February 2021. So old resistance becoming new support. So that is major resistance, and it's set to become major support. So as of right now, we're stuck in this equilibrium, which is just a tightening range. You can see that range is within this area here. We had our low of the dump, high of the bounce, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low. We're very tight at the moment. Let's see if support can hold here at 212. If not, we must hold that 204. And I wouldn't want to see us lose 196, so we're probably heading back down to around 175. So as of right now, that is holding, so that is a great sign. And we'll just get rid of some of these horizontal lines here so that we can see it a little bit better here on the weekly bull flag. So if you take a look at the weekly time frame, this move, if we go from the low here to the high, it's actually a perfect hold of the 0.32 fib. The low of the dump was 196. We have the 0.32 fib there at 197. So essentially, 196, as long as 196 holds, it's still a weekly bull flag potential. And we are bouncing nicely off of that, so it's looking good. So in order to negate it, we need to lose 196. Like I said, if we lose that, probably heading down to 175, 170. And then if we break above resistance there at the high of the bounce at 290, that's going to confirm the weekly bull flag. And the measured move on the weekly bull flag being confirmed would be roughly, let me just bring it up here exactly, it'd be just under $12 USD. And this also lines up with the Bitcoin all-time price history index, which was saying that we could see, $6 by December, and maybe even $14 to $16 by, February or March here. And as you can see, we've been tracking the Bitcoin all-time price history index very, very similarly. It's just the boom and bust cycles, right? It's not a complete blueprint, right? It's just history doesn't always repeat, but it rhymes. And obviously the price is different. It's just looking at the boom and bust cycles. And as you can see in this instance, we were tracking it very, very closely. And then when we had this breakout of the symmetrical triangle back in 2017, we had a couple of God candles strung together. And then same thing here, we were tracking it very, very closely, and then we lagged a little bit, and then we had a couple God candles that are starting to propel us higher and get caught up. So like I said, this weekly bull flag is on watch, and that is going to be the most important thing going forward, and we're still holding key support at 196. And like I said, the highs of February 2021 was exactly 196, and we're coming down and we're back testing that old resistance and confirming it as new support. That is technical analysis 101, and actually a similar move happened back in, you can see here in 2017, right, where we had this big shoot up. We had a big move up, and then we corrected a bit. We came back down and we tested those previous highs in that cycle. So it's very similar to the 2017 setup as well. But I mean, it's really just, support and resistance and classic technical analysis 101. And what we could see as well, if we zoom out to the monthly time frame, what we could see as well, if we do top out in March of this year, somewhere around that $14 to $16, I think is very doable. We could go higher, but I think 14 to 16 is the most likely scenario. I think $8 to $12 is pretty much a shoe-in, but 14 to 16 I think is the most likely scenario. And then a slight chance that we see a little bit higher than that, maybe into the 20s. But I'm not really subscribing or in the camp of thinking that we're going to see much more than that this cycle. Next cycle, that's a completely different story. But then when we top out, we would more than likely go into a bear market for at least a year or so, might see a 70 to 80% correction. And based on this Bitcoin all-time price history index, it's saying that we could pull back, somewhere bottom out around, 2026, somewhere around, mid to the end of 2026. And then that would be where the previous all-time high was. So that would make a lot of sense, right? Old major all-time high resistance becomes new major support. So that kind of goes in line with the similar way of thinking here from the highs of February 2021, and then what happened in the 2017 breakout as well, in the high of December 2014 when we had that breakout, and then we back tested it. So it's looking really good at the moment, and everything is progressing nicely. Like I said, we got this weekly higher low out of the way. It was the first time that we consolidated on the weekly time frame really in about seven weeks. So we were due, And in my opinion, this is extremely healthy. And then if we take a look at total 3, the entire market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's also a weekly bull flag. So it's perfection here. That would put us, if we confirm it with a break of 116, that's going to confirm it. We'll be targeting about 1.9 trillion. And then in order to negate it, we need to lose 932 billion. And it's also a cup and handle here on total 3 as well. You can see here the cup and the handle. And it's saying we could see north of 2 trillion, somewhere around 2.28 trillion. That makes a lot of sense if you factor that in with Ethereum and Bitcoin's market cap. That would put us somewhere around, $5 to $7 trillion, which the boss himself, the GOAT, said that we could see, 5 trillion by the end of the year. And he said that might have been a little too conservative. So XRP is looking fantastic. We're still extremely bullish on our weekly macros, and we just had the 50 and the 200 weekly moving average bull cross, and it's still extremely bullish at the moment. Last time this happened, price went from about 11 cents all the way up to about $2. And this time we have legal clarity, and ETFs coming, we have legislation, we have strategic reserves, we have an IPO potentially for Ripple in 2025. There's so many bullish catalysts, it's not even funny. It's hard to even keep track of them all. There's so many, and well above all of our daily moving averages as well. So in my opinion, this is extremely healthy. We're getting this weekly pullback out of the way. So key support going forward, 196. Lose that, we negate the weekly bull flag, and then key resistance going to be the high of the bounce there at 290. Break that, bull flag confirmed, and we could be seeing new all-time highs and $10+ double digits very, very soon, potentially as early as January or February. All right, going to it there. Let me know what you think of this pattern. If you think that the bottom is in, do you think we're going to be seeing all-time highs sooner than later? I think we could see all-time highs this month. And, if the case gets resolved, whether it gets settled, dismissed, we should see. I'm pretty sure the Blockchain Association sent a cease and desist letter essentially to the SEC to do just that on all the cases here before the current administration leaves and the new one comes in and is inaugurated on January 20th. So things are heating up in a big way. Like I said, Russia, China loosening monetary policy, China adding Bitcoin reserves. It's all very timely, and you just have to wonder who's really pulling the strings behind the scenes, right? It's the whole world's a stage for sure. So everything is lining up perfectly, and we just have to be a little bit more patient. And we've been this patient on XRP. It's been essentially 8 years since a brand new all-time high, and it's going to be one day of celebrating once we do. All right, it's Rod with the Power Group. Thanks again for joining us in the Pursuit of Wealth. Have a great day. We'll catch you on the next one.